morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're watching this from. My name is Oluwatobi Sola-Abiola, and you are on to the BRR Show. It's a show where we have conversations from lenses that are different from what you would regularly find around. A very big thank you to all our subscribers, our followers, our viewers over the course of the months that we started the show. It's been inspiring having you join us on this journey. Today, we have Oluwatobi Sola with us still. And we'll remember from our last conversation where we began the conversation regarding transparency in marriage. And we felt it should be an entire episode on its own. And we're glad to have Oluwatobi Sola here with us. Thank you for joining us once again.
Same here. I appreciate you.
From our last episode where we discussed marriage governance principles, Oluwatobi Sola bordered on one topic, which was transparency in marriage. But we realized that just those few minutes would not be enough to handle that topic. And so on the show today, we are discussing transparency in marriage. Dear Oluwatobi Sola, what does transparency in marriage really mean?
Okay. Transparency in marriage simply means a situation or an atmosphere of total bareness where you are not keeping anything away from your spouse. The scriptures that I love to read says that they were naked and they were not ashamed. It's a situation where you are naked in your mind, you are naked in your dealings, you are naked in your view, you are naked, you are just yourself, where you are not pretending to be who you are not. Full transparency. Financially, you are transparent. In your relationship, you are transparent. You understand? In whatsoever you do, it means that, you see, when we are talking about an enterprise, how do you do things that are not known to your partners?
Okay.
There won't be trust and there won't be respect. So when we are talking about mutual trust in marriage, it is that transparency that even helps it. So transparency is, aside communication, is another bedrock. Because the day I sense that there's a secrecy, then that marriage itself is being challenged. I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to beat you. I'm not going to abuse you. In fact, this transparency stems from what we call freedom in marriage.
But that's you as a person saying that you're not going to kill, you're not going to beat, you're not going to abuse. But these are instances, we've had instances where it is that somebody, a party in a marriage, has been transparent enough to let the other party know that XYZ is happening to me. And we've seen brutal consequences for that. So how then do you say that transparency in marriage is something that we should go for?
You see, like I tell people, these are part of the things that are meant to be discussed before you go into marriage. We have marriage constitution. I expect every couple to write their marriage constitution before they get into marriage. That is where the issue about being transparent about your finances are defined. That is where about relationship, transparency about relationships are defined. So transparency itself does not operate on its own. It's about the level that you have both defined for each other. Okay. So when it is defined, then you know that you have both agreed that this is the level of openness that we are going to enjoy in this marriage. You can put it in your constitution. You don't have to know how much I collect. I don't have to know how much you collect.
And that's okay.
It's okay for them.
Oh, really?
It's their constitution.
Because, sometimes we have that mentality of you must know what your wife earns and your wife must know what you earn.
We can't say must. You don't define what happens in people's marriage for them.
Exactly.
You don't. They have to choose the way they want to run their finances.
And it doesn't mean that it's bad.
As long as they are okay with it. What we are saying is that it is advisable, it's a governance principle when you are transparent. Is it everybody that runs corporate governance in their office?
No.
It's not. But it's a matter of time. It will show. So if you say this is the way you want to do it, go and find. But 2 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, we will know whether you have taken up the right principles or standard or not. So, but what we're saying is that you can define the level of your transparency. You can define the level of how your fidelity. There's what we call financial fidelity. There's what we call emotional fidelity. There's physical fidelity. All those things you have to define it. People just think marriage work on it. So it's much work that you need to put on paper. So that when you are not around, I can work within the terms of the Constitution.
Absolutely.
I don't need to be calling you that this is what I want to do. Some people expect their wives to tell them that they are going out, even when they are not at home. I have to call you, I'm going out. If that is the way you have defined your Constitution, it's okay. But if it has not been stated, don't expect me to do it. I will feel being controlled. If you ask me, I have to tell you where I'm going before leaving the house. Even if I don't get, if the network is not working, there's no way, okay, I should send text message. But I feel that that is controlling. From the office where you are, is it every time you tell your spouse this is where you are? If you both agree, and that's why you see, I love the fact that I teach people this, that you must communicate. That's where communication is so strong. Communicate the way you both want to live this home, you want to run this home, and it will work. So transparency is very essential. So it has to be documented. This is how the level of transparency, but whichever way you want to look at it, whatsoever you hide, I can assure you, we come to limelight one day and become with shame and disaster.
So when you speak about transparency, is it possible to have one party being transparent, where it is that the husband will say, I want to know everything about you, and the wife is saying, I don't want to know everything about you, just give me the basics? Is it possible for that to operate? Or on most occasions, it has to be balanced on both parties?
Like I said, in preparing for marriage, if you both agree, and I think that no spouse should say, I don't want to know everything about you, I just want to know the basic. No. What I thought you were about saying was that, is it possible for one party to be transparent and the other party not transparent? It's possible.
Like
one will password his phone and the other one will not password the phone.
It's like if they agree, because there's some ladies that can't stress anything that is happening with you.
Don't let me know.
Don't let me know. Yeah, that's the angle I'm coming from. While the husband is the one saying, I want to be involved in everything as you are going, let me know. But the wife is saying, anything you want to do outside, do it outside. So far you come home and you give me the basics that I need.
You know, the woman is living in denial. I'm telling you, she's living in denial. She is giving a room for the husband to do things that ought not to be done.
What if she doesn't mind? Are there people like that?
See, there are different kind of people. There are women that don't mind their husband having affairs. So if you are saying that there are people like that, there are 1,001 people like that they will say, to hell with you, whatever you want to do with your life, do with your life.
Exactly.
But you see, does that help your relationship? We are talking about marriage.
We're talking.
Listen, we're talking about factors that guarantee success in marriage. And you know, remember we said people evolve. See, people do the best they can with what they know. One day, knowledge will shine on that woman. And she will suddenly realize that, I think I've done a mistake by allowing this. And by the time she wants to step in, the husband has moved. And the Lord said, what is the meaning of that? Why are you bothering me on that? It's too late. Because it wasn't there in their foundation. Why doing that at the middle of the road? Some women will say, I don't care the way you live your life. Just make sure you don't stress me.
Yes. And you provide for me and
provide
children.
She doesn't understand what marriage is all about. Those are the women that want to live their life as though they are not married. And if anything happens to you, they move on. But what we want our viewers to learn today is that for marriage to truly succeed, openness is key. And that is transparency of the highest level. You are not permitted to hide anything from your spouse. When it comes to the use of your phone, you don't password your phone. Even if you're going to password your phone, your wife should know. You understand? There's some people say, my wife will be looking for. What she looking for? If you don't have skeleton in your cupboard, you won't be afraid. You understand? So it is very essential. This builds, it's like, look at it from the enterprise point of view. You have business partners and you are hiding things away from them. You are taking money that they are not aware of, and you are partners. You are spending money on what money should not be spent on. As a man, you are giving money out that your wife is not aware of. And is asking for money. She's asking for money at home, and you say you don't have money. And she's wondering, you just collect salary. It's just 12th day of the month. Where has the money gone to? She's not aware. She's not aware that you are the one responsible for the rent of your parents. She's not aware that you are paying your junior one's school fees in university.
Openness.
You understand?
Openness.
So she's demanding and she's seeing you as irresponsible, but meanwhile you are carrying so much load that she's not aware of. So why will she not be misbehaving when she doesn't know what is happening to you? You are sick, you are not feeling well. You can't even tell your wife that this is the way you are feeling. You have a sickness that is turning to be terminal, your wife doesn't even know. So she can't even be cooking the kind of meal that will help you to heal. So what are we talking about? Why are you in a relationship you cannot be transparent?
I like how we're getting deeper into this transparency conversation. We'll go on a quick break right now. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to the BRR Show. Before we went to the break, we had a conversation regarding health and transparency. But you think that that's sometimes a reason to be open? Because, sometimes the spouse may feel like, I don't want to put pressure or make her worried about the state of my health.
Transparency is for your good. You don't want her to be worried about the state of your health. How will she help you? The closest person to you, to watch you while you are sleeping, to be able to check whether your breath or your breathing or your pulse is normal. There's sometimes I wake up in the midnight and I check my wife. Sometimes she suddenly develops muscle pull. And I wake up, I quickly rub the leg. Sometimes I'm watching her, I just want to be sure that she's okay. Because I know she has a tendency to be diabetic. So I ensure that what we eat will not aggravate it. I bought all the machine, the one for blood pressure, the one for testing the sugar, the one test for the oxygen in the body. We do it regularly in the house. You understand? I have the tendency of having high blood pressure. So she knows I won't eat any food that is salty. No matter the love I have for her, when I put it in my mouth and it's salty, I push it aside. She knows. In fact, this day, they are perfect in my house. Everyone knows that when it has to do with salt, I won't eat it. I told them, you don't put salt in rice. The stew will make it tasty. You don't put salt in yam. I consult for hotel, so I learned those things in the hotel. I mean, a lot of time, this transparency, see, some husband pretend, some wife pretend. But I tell you, there's no need to pretend in marriage. You don't hide. They said a dead man does not hide for the person that is going to bury him. So why are you pretending? Be open.
Money conversations.
You see, your problem is a problem. Our problem is your problem. So why, if she can't carry it, you will carry it. So be open. Be open, especially when it comes to the issue of health. Be open when it comes to the issue of finances. My wife will not ask me for the money I don't have. She knows if this man has, she will spend it. If she notices I'm not spending it, she knows I don't have. She won't even ask because she knows I'm so open to. She knows what is in the account. When I transfer money or when I buy anything, she receives a lot. If she takes my ATM card today, she doesn't need to ask me the pin. She knows it.
So this is another level, right? So for people your generation, it sounds weird where it is that a grandpa is saying this, right? Because we, in my generation, would think that my money, just leave me. I can be transparent with myself. I don't have to let the other party know. And the thing about transparency with finances is, as people dating, if you're dating and you're not even transparent with the basics, how it is that when you get married, you now expect this person to be transparent.
You see, that's the reason why I encourage people to not pretend even while they are dating. There was a time my wife and I, while we were dating each other, we were on the police college ground and we were discussing. So I suddenly checked my time and it was around 6:30. And I remember the house help of my uncle was at home and I did not prepare anything for her that she will be eating that night. So I told my wife that I need to quickly start going home because I don't know what she's going to eat. So she said,
What?
You mean you prefer the house help more than me? You are with me and you want to go home?
Standard, like.
Are you having an affair with her?
Ah.
I broke down and I was crying. I said, you mean you could think of me that way?
Hmm.
And that's where you see perception. I tell you, perception differs. I was feeling a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
She is seeing a sense of betrayal.
Yeah.
How does the two match?
Perspective.
I said, see, I'm being transparent to you that, see, there's somebody I'm responsible to at home. I said, that's what most men, the error some people do in marriage. They don't know the level of your commitment to some people. Some married men in church, they are responsible. Like for instance, I play a father figure to some homes. I have to allow my wife to be aware of it so that she will know the extent of my commitment to those homes. The father is late, and this is a woman with 5 children, grown up in university, and some out of university. I have to begin to encourage them to give them a sense of purpose. If I'm not open to my wife, as a therapist, there's virtually no counseling my wife is not aware of. Because she can be feeling what exactly is he doing with them. So transparency sometimes is for your own good, so that nobody can begin to think otherwise. When you leave a woman or a man with this spirit of trying to find out what is going on, what is not going on, you will actually find what you are looking for. But when you are open,
Yes.
the person will not. I said, my wife is the one that helps me to delete some messages from my phone when they are full. You understand?
That's some level of trust. Right?
Yes, transparency will ultimately build trust.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't happen in a day. It's something that you nurture.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't be when you get into marriage. It should be even before you get into marriage. You understand? How come some things are going on in your home and your spouse is not aware before you got married? I mean, I had appendectomy before marriage, and my wife was in the hospital with me.
Your girlfriend.
My girlfriend. Yeah, and that was when my father had the opportunity to meet her.
Oh, I'm a dad.
You understand? Honestly. So, you see, it's all about, I mean, I don't know how else I can explain this transparency, but it's one of the fundamentals for any relationship, not even just marital relationship, for any relationship at all.
And it saves one a lot of stress.
I'm telling you. You know that you don't need to remember the truth.
If it is the truth.
If it is the truth. But you need a lie to keep a lie. See, transparency is for your good. Absolutely. It makes you to enjoy your relationship because you have no skeleton in your cupboard. You will sleep and you sleep well. But if you are not transparent and you are doing something at the back, a wicked man runneth when no man persuades. You understand? So it's for our own good. And I think every relationship should tend towards that. The two people relationship should work at being transparent. Let's put it this way. Should work at being trustworthy. And transparency and openness is a key to ensuring trustworthiness in marriage. But remember, like I said, let's work it out into our constitution. Let's define the level. I teach people how to prepare family constitution. And when I say what some people prepare, I shiver. Why? Because they have locked themselves up.
Wow.
I said, this is the way we're going to do it. This is the way we're going to do it. This is the way we're going to do it. I said, these people mean business. They are totally naked and they are not ashamed. You understand?
Yes.
So I think it's good.
Okay. We've heard so much today regarding transparency in marriage. Tayo Lushola, what are your parting words?
Wow, I would love couple to say that and communicate. Transparency is something that you need to communicate. What are your expectations of your spouse? What are the red flags? What are your deal breakers? You understand? What are the things that makes you agitated? Discuss it. This is the level of transparency I required of you. This is the level of transparency I required of you. So that you can know what exactly, who is your spouse? How does he respond? How does she respond to issues like this? So when that has been communicated, then you're in a safe place. But like I said, transparency is good for you. Thank you.
Just like we've heard, transparency is good for you. That's all we'll be taking on the show today. So we'll come your way again. Stay blessed and stay lifted. Bye for now.